Hello, whoever's there. Sharon. Esme, how are you? Nikki, how are you? Can't see you guys now, so I'm not gonna say how are you. Sharing it. I'm sharing the thing. Oh, I got two raven crows. I don't know which one's a real raven crow. I can't.
Okay, I think it's just cocktails actually.
Oh. Oh. Oh, there's a bunch of you there. I'm just sitting here fucking around. I still got a few more people to invite. I got Jane Gang already. Oh, Spirit Witch guy. Oh, Sage. Even Teresa. Oh, Love Lady. Alright. Barrel. I know, you're just staring at me. Oh my God, there's a bunch of people here. Hello, everybody. I will say hello to you in a minute. I'm just trying to tag people to the live. So share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, and start liking. I see everybody's liking right away. Thing we learned over here is that if we got more love than we get hate, then they can't get rid of us. Okay, I need to tag Stu. Okay, there we go. Here we go. They moved the magnifying glass to the other side. Stu. Okay, that'd be the last one I invite. Hello, how are you? Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. 280 people already. Be sure and follow me at Uncle Birch 8 and Uncle Birch 9. Uncle Birch 9 is about halfway there, and then it'll be able to go live too. So if the haters want to hate, we'll have a backup for that. And that's the whole reason I have those accounts, is so I can have backups for this kind of thing. I'm Uncle Birch coming live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. Actually, teach witchcraft for a living on the internet too, so I'm pretty much teaching worldwide. Been doing that for about 45 years, and that's what people tend to want to talk to me about. And the people that are on my page, that's usually why they're on my page. So just, yeah, keep liking. Thank you very much. Actually, absolutely shameless. Somebody's got to do it. Death becomes him. Hey, how are you? You're a little upset with me. Okay, cool. Why? Must be Uncle Auntie. Hey, Unicorn, how are you? Otter, how are you? Started your spiritual journey on Friday and started the Norse pagan journey. Right on. Well, fucking congratulations to you. I hope that goes well. I come from Planet X. Okay, cool. I'm not hearing why that person's upset with me, so you got to follow up, really. Unicorn. All your life, people will try to take your accomplishment away from you, so don't take them away. Yes, from yourself. Very good. I asked you about magic in the Victorian era. Well, there's a lot of magic in the Victorian era. So, yeah, I mean, the ceremonial magic was big. Witchcraft, of course, was always around. But during the Victorian era, that's when we have a lot of the ceremonial magicians working for kings and rulers, that kind of thing. Saturn is the ruler of karma, karmic ties, the basic part that people know about karma. It affects your whole life. Saturn return, I believe, is at 28 years old, and when you reach 28, you have an opportunity to change the course of your life with Saturn, your Saturn return, and if you don't, then your life's just going to keep going, the same way. Communication with the dead too. Yes, I communicate with the dead. Planet X is heaven. Oh, that's fascinating. A million different words. Well, there's that guy that was upset with me. He doesn't want to follow up. I've been looking at all the texts. Uncle Birch coming live from New Orleans. If anybody wants to jump in the box, you can jump in the box. Yeah, a million different words. I was 28 when I became a witch. There you go. So your Saturn return worked out. You changed your stars. You tell us about the use of Saturn energy in your craft. Saturn energy is also good for bringing other people's karma upon them, their justice. So where Saturn might seem a pain in the ass to you, you can use that pain in the ass. Honor the people. I started learning at 13, got a couple years to go, till 28, right on, right on. I started learning at 13 too, and I was teaching by the time I was 14. Probably I was still 13, regardless of what Witchfoot says. It's an Ask Uncle Birch. That's how this one started off, so that's how we're going. And talk about Pluto. I have crazy, heavy Pluto chart. Pluto's related to the god of the underworld, because it's the planet farthest out and the coldest. And as such, it deals with, the dark underbelly of things. There's only so much I can say on a live. Reading the text. Lydia, how are you? Carrie, how are you? Thank you for continuing to like the live, because I'm sure the haters are there, and they're screen recording this really controversial stuff. Oh, Keisha, how are you? Everyone calls me Eli, which Eli means my God. Eli was also the Grand Master of my parent tradition, so it's, yes, a very prominent kind of name. I'm trending like crazy. Oh, cool. Well, Uncle Birch 9's doing pretty good. It's about halfway to 1,000 already, last I checked. So, yeah, everybody be sure and follow me at Uncle Birch 8 and Uncle Birch 9. Jesus cried for Eli. Yes. Haters gonna hate. Potatoes gonna potate. Yes, I cannot argue with your logic.
Masturbators gonna masturbate.
Yep. Oops.
Sorry.
I don't know what the hell my phone did. Marta's a noob.
And I still laugh and look at you every time you say corn.
Yeah, I gotta say corn and grape and
I don't know a lot of this stuff.
and unalive.
Yeah.
We have to talk like children over here on TikTok. Fluffy Nikki, how are you? See, I thought you were the other Nikki, but I guess not, because you're both here. You're not wrong. Okay, somebody wants to come in. Let's see, who is that? Regina the Mountain Witch. She seems cool, so I will let her in. Just down there today. Hey, how are you?
Oh. Hey, doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great. It's really hot, but we got a breeze, so I'm not really noticing it.
It's not
really
we've had hotter days.
Yeah, absolutely. What's that cold front we're gonna get where it gets down to like 91 or something?
It's starting tomorrow. I
Okay.
think tomorrow and later on in the week it's supposed to get like lower and lower.
Yeah. Might rain. All right, looks like Nina's driving somewhere. We're getting ready to drive somewhere. Where are you at?
I'm hanging outside the laundromat, actually. I've got an hour to kill before I have to go grab my clothes, so I figured why the hell not?
No, I meant like where? What state?
Oh, what state? I'm in Colorado, actually. Right now, currently in, what is this town's name? Woodland Park right now. Closest town to where I live for laundry.
What do you practice?
Well, that's a really good question. I guess the easiest way to phrase it is eclectic. That is just the simplest way to say it. Kind of a combination of deity work, elemental work, do some spell casting, obviously some baneful magic. It just kind of depends.
Some of my friends in the Alexandrian tradition love to argue about it, but I always say that the Gardnerians and the Alexandrians are the staunchest traditionalists out there, and Gardner was eclectic. His craft has stuff from all over the damn place in it. Even got Crowley helping him out with it. So the staunchest tradition out there is, in its very nature, eclectic. Fight me. Go ahead.
I honestly agree with you. I think to an extent most of us are eclectic anyway. I mean, whether we want to admit it or not, because it's just kind of the nature of the beast anymore, right? With everything being so integrated worldwide now, we kind of are picking and choosing from other pieces and learning here and there. Now, there may be some people out there who are different, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but I feel like a lot of us are taking bits and pieces here and there.
So Elias says you all negative energy. First of all, that's very bad grammar. Second of all, negative energy comes from nature. Negative ions come from plants and falling water. And even burning frankincense has been found to release negative ions. Negative ions cure depression and disease. Positive ions cause depression and disease, and they come from like electronics and human activity and that kind of thing. So Nature doesn't care if you use the words incorrectly. Nature knows what the words mean. So the word you wanted to use was negativity. See, negativity and positivity, well, those are human-controlled words, but negative energy and positive energy are things that exist. So if you send somebody, like let's say somebody's sick, having a hard time, you're going to send them some positive energy. Nature doesn't care. They're going to mess them up. They're going to mess them up. They're maybe just to teach you a lesson to learn what you're speaking. Precise speech leads to precise thoughts. So, negative energy is good. Positive energy is bad. Negativity is bad. Positivity is good. You learned something there, Elias.
And nobody asked him to come here.
Yeah.
You're here on your own will.
Well, that's the thing is I don't really know, with the bad grammar, I don't really know what that person's trying to say.
I think they're trying, allegedly, I'm going to assume they're trying to say that we're just negative people, but you only have to spend 5 minutes on my page to know that's not true, so.
Yeah, there's been the only negativity in this entire broadcast, I believe that was negativity coming from Elias. No. And if there's stuff going on in the chat room that I need to know about, let me know. Somebody wants to be a mod, I'll figure out where that button is. But sometimes there's stuff I miss. I'll tell you about it later. That there was this crap going on in my live. I didn't see.
Oh, thank you, Nikki. That's so sweet.
What truth is that, Elias? The truth. Yeah, what's the truth? I'll be on mod. One, let's see. Click on this one.
I guess when I'm a guest on a live, I can't make somebody a mod. I was going to try and help out, but oh well.
There we go. Alicia is a moderator. All right, my first moderator. Because I'm not known as being a moderate person of any kind. So, Keisha, you are now a moderator. Don't kick people out, without talking to me. But let me know, what they're doing, and I'll keep an eye out for you there. So, I don't have good judgment to instigate too much. Nikki, yeah, absolutely. Every video I've seen. Fortunately, since I keep switching accounts, some of the videos I see from, Nikki talking smack are like from the beginning of the month, 2 months ago. I think started to catch up on your feed for the most current shit. Regardless
Nikki,
of other views.
Oh, sorry, Nikki, you don't have to tell me, but I'm curious what your sign is, because it's giving Scorpio, and I love it.
Lady Chasm. I'm the last king. Come, my son. My name is Lion. Are we getting anywhere? No, you're not getting anywhere.
I knew it! I knew you were a Scorpio, Nikki! Ah! Okay, I'm a Cancer. I fucking love Scorpios. You guys are my favorite people.
Yes, some of my favorite people are Scorpios. Thank you for continuing to like the live. We're at 8.8 thousand likes. If you're out there not
Oh my god, oops.
tap the screen and like it, because the haters are going to hate. And if we have more love, then we have hate. If we have more positivity, then we have negativity. They can't get rid of us. We Scorpios are a good company to have. Right on.
I love Scorpios, seriously. Y'all are my favorite people. I have no backbone. So, seeing Scorpios, you guys are the bomb. You teach me to be a better person.
We skulk around in the darkness.
I'm the odd person out.
This Leo over here.
Oh, see, I love Leos too. All my best friends are Leos.
Literally, I do. Terrible lovers, really? Scorpio?
I disagree.
I seem to recall a couple Scorpios were pretty fun.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I thought anyway.
Yeah, that whole 20 years of polyamory, I got to learn things about a lot of different kinds of people.
Yes, exactly. See, truthfully, we Cancers are the worst. We're the worst lovers. We get so fucking clingy.
You got to get over that. The problem is, if I meet a person that corresponds directly to their sun sign, I know that they haven't done a whole lot of spiritual growth. I got a lot of Cancer in my chart, but I'm not ruled by my emotions, and not a blubbering basket case. I have been back in the day, but those are things you work on. And in my tradition, we were taught that the process of initiation is to get you through more than one lifetime of lessons. And so each initiation is supposed to rush the challenges of each zodiacal sign upon you so you can assimilate the strengths and overcome the weaknesses of each sign. I don't even know what sign I'm working on now, but quite a few.
I love that. I wanted to tell you, Birch, I saw your video about when you banish, you have to invoke. And when I was watching that video, now I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on witchcraft. I've been practicing now for about 7 years of witchcraft. I was a spiritualist before this, and I've always been able to see things. So I'm still learning as far as I'm concerned, and I intend to be learning for the rest of my life. But when you said that, about how when you push negativity out, you have to bring something in to replace it, I'm like, well, there's my fucking problem. Because you asked, have you ever tried to banish something and then it came right back? I'm like, yeah! It was actually really insightful, and I wanted to say that was very good. Obviously, you've been teaching for years, so you don't need my compliment, but that was very insightful.
Hey, when I got people hating on me all the time, sure, I could use some compliments like anybody else. I'm trying to figure, what are the really important things that I've said on TikTok that are lost, and didn't get saved to my phone. So that one's so damn important. I mean, we use that law for so many things, like sigil magic's an excellent example. We create the sigil that represents the thing we're willing to be, and we put all this energy into the sigil. And when we do that, we create its counterpart on the astral plane in a magical state. And once we've given that enough energy, we destroy the physical. We destroy that physical part. So this is another way that we're using that law. Nature abhors a vacuum. We destroy this physical piece of it. She's going to put something back in its place, hopefully not just give us another sigil, but give us the object of our desire. So when you banish, you must evoke. Nature abhorring a vacuum is a thing we use magically for a million different things.
It was very insightful. I thought that was some of the best advice I've seen on WitchTok in years now.
It's, and like I always tell people, it's like, don't be mad at me because you didn't know that. I've been obsessed with witchcraft for 45 plus years. Everything that I think about, I think, how can I apply that to witchcraft? I just remember, I have a very long-term memory with regard to magic, not so much many other things. So it's a law that everybody knew back in the day. But one thing that Wicca did for us was lose most of the magic. Everything became, do whatever you feel, and intent is all that matters, and so all the actual magic is just lost during the times of Wicca. But I remember, it's my job. I'm Pepperidge Farm. I remember.
Orums, I saw your comment in there. You're mad at yourself because you didn't know that. Listen, I don't think you should be. In my opinion, I'm sure you're probably saying this tongue in cheek, but when you think about it, I'm self-taught. Like, I had to learn everything I know by myself and from the spirits and the elementals that I've been working with. And it's been a long ass road. And when you're self-taught and you don't have somebody teaching you these things, you don't know what you don't know. You can't be mad at yourself for something like that. Every opportunity is an opportunity to learn. And sometimes you learn things even when you're not trying to. So anybody who looks at that TikTok and is upset, they shouldn't be, because it's just an opportunity.
Yes. And Elias, have I made it clear? I don't care what your God thinks. Your God can be
exactly
all you want. You sound like a Christian. And one thing I got to point out, Jehovah in the Garden of Eden lied. And the snake told the truth. Jehovah said, you eat of this fruit, you will perish. The snake said, eat of this fruit, you'll gain the knowledge of good and evil and of your own existence. They ate the fruit, realized they were naked, covered themselves up, and I don't know, this voyeur God was really upset that they weren't naked anymore, and he's a twisted guy, that Jehovah. They didn't perish. It didn't happen. So the God that it seems like you're following was lying all the way back to the Bible. A perfect being does not lie. I'm an imperfect being, and I don't lie.
You know, I'll say, like, I do. I don't like to use the word Jehovah, but El Shaddai is one of the gods that I work with. But I will tell you that, you know what, I wouldn't take the Bible with 100% grain of salt. Like, take it with a grain of salt, buddy. It was written by man. But you know what, you feel free to believe whatever you want to believe. Just don't do it here. Go someplace else and be stupid.
Well, I think people like Elias might not understand. In Witch School Level 1, we're immediately studying the Bible. We're learning the secret code words in the Bible. And the Bible is a book of metaphor.
Yes.
Symbols. And witches are trained to read everything in symbols. So we're better at reading the Bible than y'all will ever be. You're trying to take it literal. It's metaphorical.
Yes.
It's metaphorical, and it means a whole bunch of different stories that you ain't even seeing. We see it. And by the way, in the Bible, we are called wise. Deal with that, wise.
And maybe stop wasting your time on this.
Yes, but he gives me good stuff to say. Everything that I just said, I think that's important.
It is important. And you know what? So I think that the universe brings idiots into our lives to help us teach others. There was some motherfucker showed up on one of my videos. It took everything in me not to post what I made last night. But somebody showed up on one of my videos where I was trying to uplift this woman who was getting tore down by people because she had a birthmark on her face. And I work with Aphrodite. I'm like,
followed her because I saw her video, so she's getting a lot of love.
She is, and she absolutely needed it. I made a video uplifting her, and some jackwagon had the audacity to roll onto my TikTok and say, oh, well, you know, you're cheapening the experience by saying that, you know, you believe in a deity and then trying to help somebody out. And I'm like, you know what? That's a very, I'm sure that this person's an atheist, but that's a very Christian mentality that only your way is the only way to believe. Like, I'm sorry, but when it comes to religion, you don't get to tell people what to believe. Some bullshit.
It's a good question before, you know, the moderator, or that the TikTok moderators have a hard time. Marta's not holding a sex toy up to her electric, or it's a powered fan.
It's a fan.
No, it's not a sex toy.
Marta's giving
making me feel real good.
A little more moaning would, you know, clear that up.
It's not that kind of stream, guys.
Uncle Birch and Marta coming to you live from the where I gotta do the shameless self-promotion. Witch School Level 3 is just a few days away. And also, Witch School another Level 2 is going to start too. So you're going to get over there to gumroad.com/witchschool, which is, of course, WITCHSKEWL. That's Gumroad, like gum on your shoe, and the road you walk down where you got the gum on your shoe, .com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. Follow me, and you'll get a notification when each one of those classes launches. I'm also working on The Way of Plants Volume 2 as we speak, so that one's going to come out pretty soon too. Yeah, Attitude Caffeinated, you better be there.
Elias, I don't think anybody wants to be you, perfectly honest. At least nobody in this chat.
You gave me some good talking points, but I'm not paying attention to them right now. I'm not really paying attention to fools out here on the internet.
It's fair.
They wasted a good couple weeks of my time. Don't need to keep posting those videos because I really don't care. People think that I go over and troll their videos when they hate me. I just excommunicate them from my consciousness, but unfortunately people send me the videos. Every video that I've ever seen from one of my enemies is because somebody sent it to me. I wasn't looking. I don't give you people any attention because where attention goes, energy flows. And there's whole pages dedicated to just me out there, and some people that have no content except content about me, and that just gives me energy, makes me stronger, and keep it up. I'll make sure and work that into my next lottery ticket. We'll see how that goes. Reading the comments here. We have level 1 starting. Yeah, level 1 so that's September. So October 1st, another level 1 will start.
Nikki's cracking me up in the comments. By the way, Birch, something you said about in one of your videos I thought was really cool, and it's another thing I wanted to compliment you on. Am I just here to kiss ass today? I guess. You had said something in a video about your daughter and how you had given her credits to your witch school so that she could come and learn from you, and that was actually really amazing. My dad could give two shits fucking less if I existed, so it's really nice to see somebody out here being a real fucking dad. So that was very cool.
Well, I'll tell you,
a really, really good dad, by the way.
That's huge.
A lot of bad things, but he's a really good dad. He's a really good dad.
This is my bully over here. I gotta reorganize the boxes so I'm not cutting up Marta's face over here.
That's
We're gonna
okay.
go grid. Don't tell me what's okay.
Regina, my girl, let's take it.
So since you brought it up, I gotta tell the story.
Tell the story.
My daughter grew up in the back of a witch store, like my son. And last I knew, she was agnostic. She didn't want to have anything to do with this stuff. What it was for her is, sometimes interfered with her trick-or-treating on Halloween. And so I made it a point that before doing the ritual stuff, take her out trick-or-treating so she wouldn't hate Halloween. And then one day she sent me a message, say, Dad, I need to cleanse the house. He, walk me through that and go, hell yes, I can walk you through that, baby. I never asked. And so I told her, I said, well, okay, I think first you need to get some rue. She says, okay, where do I get rue? I said, well, and I knew this because my daughter, last I knew, she was into Latino boys. And she had moved out with a Latino boy, and that's just her preference. That's the way she leans. So I figured that was probably still the case. And I knew she was living with her boyfriend and his family. And I said, well, you need to find an old Mexican lady. She has a growing right by the front door. He says, there happens to be an old Mexican lady sitting right next to me. I said, I figured that was probably the case. So she said, how do you say it in Spanish? I say, ruta. He goes, yeah, she's got a growing by the front door. How'd you know? It's like all Latino old ladies and even Latin, even the Italians, they always have the rue growing by the front door. I don't know if Jesus likes it or what their excuse is for that. So I taught her what to do, and I sent her to my YouTube to watch a video to teach her how to cleanse the house. And she sent me a picture of her notes. And her notes were just great. I said, those are great notes. Those notes are so good, those could go in a book of shadows. Next picture she sends me is the cover, or Aradia's book of shadows. So proud. Oh, honey, I may not have been the best father when you needed help with your math homework, but you want to walk down this path? I'm going to be the best dad you ever had. Here's $7,000 worth of credits. You could take I don't think I have $7,000 worth of shit on there. And he's probably halfway through which. Aziz, I will invite you on, Aziz. No, it went away. Okay, ask to come in again, and I will invite you in on a probationary period because I don't know you, and sometimes when people we don't know, we let them in, and kind of turns to crap. But we also have moderators. So, Aziz, if you want to come in a box, hit the thing, and we'll bring you in the box and see what happens. Bree, how are you?
I am fantastic.
Are you in the path of any of those spaghetti strands that we're looking at?
Yes. Yes, I am.
It might be a good time to go visit your girlfriend there. Wow. Okay. Now I'm going to worry about you.
Oh,
I was
listen.
hoping it was.
I've made it this long. It'll be fine.
I'll still worry.
It's fine.
Can't stop. Freedom. I have freedom of word. I think it's the First Amendment in there.
Nikki, I have to agree with you. One of my favorite things is seeing Bree and Mo together. It warms my heart in a way. It's like, oh, okay, love does actually exist.
It does. Thank you, and thank you, Nikki, for that. And I don't know. Well, I guess most of you do know there is a big age gap between Mo and myself, and it's definitely a May to December relationship. There's 17 years difference, and we live in different states. There's 1,500 miles between us, and it's about to come together. So I'm really happy. It's the best relationship I've ever had.
Well, if you need somebody to perform a wedding,
Oh my God!
Yeah, you guys get married in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And we'll do the wedding.
Please invite me.
Absolutely. You'll be
My
in the
God.
wedding. Yes, I have not officially asked her yet, but it's in the future. Absolutely. I'm not.
Y'all
I'm
gonna
not
make me cry.
Jane.
It'll be the biggest lesbian witchy wedding you ever seen.
Okay, I love that. It's just I'm such a hopeless romantic, so like for me, I'm like, this is so. I'm sorry, I'm being dramatic. I'm excited. I hope that happens soon. I would love to be there.
And I will say this, yeah, Birch would be amazing at officiating,
Oh yeah.
a wedding like that. Yep.
One time I did a pagan Catholic Jewish ceremony. They wanted elements of all of that, and they said, "Can you do that?" And I thought about it for a second. Well, yeah, I don't know why I can do that, but I got it all up here. The whole ritual is right up here. And I remember that the mother, the Catholic, hated the pagan part of the ceremony, so she brought these giant rosary beads. They would offend me, and she like held them out in front of me. Says, "What can you do with these?" And I reached out and I grabbed them and said, "Nomine Padre, Filii, Spiritus Sancti, Amen." And she thought I was gonna.
That's great. That is fantastic.
Whole thing. I'm gonna grab me a drink. Talk amongst yourself.
How are you, Regina? Hey, Marta.
Oh.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm golden.
Good.
I'm golden.
Staying safe out there in Florida.
It is hot right now. It's blue skies. You never know how one is going to hit. So.
Right. I heard that we never really paid attention to them when we lived in California, but I heard that when Michael happened, it was going in a totally different direction, and then it just ended up where it ended up, like kind of at the last minute, and that anything could happen at this point.
Yeah,
they turned around and came back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they often turn. And they don't always hit where it's projected.
Right.
Envision clips of this wedding.
Like I would love to see those visions, honestly, Crystal, because like it sounds amazing.
Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. If you're in the thing, we're at 11,008.8 likes. Keep liking. No, they're out there. I've seen the glitch. There's screen recording going on. The haters are hating, but as long as you're loving, we can conquer them with love.
As Bob Marley
on you right now.
Love is the answer.
Love.
That was like watching Skeletor say that.
And what was that thing about her? Like, I don't even talk about Skeletor. She's got that thing that her boyfriend needs target practice. Birch. I was like, I'm a master marksman. I don't need no practice. Go practice away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like somebody was really cute. They slid into my DMs and like, you gotta be really careful. These people are crazy. I'm like, listen, I live 15 miles down a dirt road. If they're stupid enough to show up at my house, they will not make it out.
Wow, you really do live in the back country.
I'm way out in the sticks. At some point, I'll try to like make a TikTok to like show you guys just how far out I am, but I'm not even on the grid, like at all. It cracks me up because Birch, when you're saying you're an anarchist, I'm like, oh, so just one of my neighbors.
Yeah, Crystal Ghost Girl. Yeah, it was another threat. We took our lawyer out for dinner for his birthday last night, and this was planned like a month ago before all this crap. So of course we had to bring up the stalking.
We're gonna see him next week.
Yeah, the stalking and the doxing and that kind of stuff. He directed me how to and where to file charges for terrorist threats.
Domestic terrorist
threats, and absolutely everything in the kitchen sink goes into this. I would be.
I feel I owe both of you an apology, actually, speaking of Ursula. Um, Back in June, she hexed Karamia's kid, and to punish her, I hexed her back. But when I hexed her, my hex specifically said that she would be stupid enough to step in it on TikTok, so that she would basically get taken down repeatedly and repeatedly until she learned the lesson. I never imagined she would be stupid enough to take on you two, and I am so sorry.
Yeah, so you never know how these things are going to work out. Like, there was a guy one time, Ryan Foxwood and Susan Diamond. Susan Diamond's an old enemy of ours from Santa Cruz. Marty and I mentioned that we were moving to Hollywood on Facebook, and they saw it. So in the middle of the night, they drove to Los Angeles to trash us to the entire occult community and all the groups and the shops. Unbeknownst to them, I don't need a community.
Yeah, it really.
My community is global. You can't cancel me. But they tried. And while they were doing that, I guess Orion Foxwood was the passenger. He typed out this kind of curse. It's like the poetry of war on his Facebook, and he threw this curse at me. And this curse was supposed to make my tongue turn into a serpent and sting me. Now, nothing happened, but maybe about a year later, he said something directed towards the African American community that was perceived as a threat. And it was like his tongue turned into a serpent and stung him. And he's hardly had any work since starting to get past that, where people have forgotten about the thing when he put out the entire African American community with the serpent tongue that stung him. You never know how these things are going to work out or backfire.
Yeah, I mean, I see Allison's message in there. Here's the thing, to be perfectly honest, even though it is a huge pain in the ass for Bree and Birch, I think they are probably the only two who could have taken her down in the way that she's getting taken down. So ultimately, I trust the magic to take care of what it needs to take care of. I'm not gonna, I do feel bad for them and you guys, because you guys are the ones who are having to suffer from this, but at the end of the day, I think it's only you two that could have possibly made it get as far as it did. So
yeah, Allison, I got that question too. Who's Bruce?
Oh, okay. So Allison and I are friends outside of TikTok, and Bruce is her ex. He cheated on her, and he lied to me about it, actually. I'm actually also poly, and he lied to me about being in a relationship with her, and so she and I have been talking a lot about him, so that's what she's talking about there.
And so what's Bramble talking about Seraphina's on the bandwagon now too? What bandwagon?
She is.
Oh, she
is.
I saw the video.
I didn't see it.
Okay. I'll answer that. But first, let me say, Regina, there's absolutely nothing for you to apologize about. As long as Ursa is going after me and Birch, she's not going after anyone else. Okay? So, the magic has a way of coming to where it's supposed to be. And Birch has said it, and I'll say it now. Witchcraft and magic is not always easy, and it's certainly not pretty. It's not fun to be on this side, but sometimes things have to happen in order for something extraordinary to come to us as a whole and as individuals. Now, regarding Seraphina, she made 2 videos, one of them 10 minutes long, talking about me and talking about the grimoire and giving her perspective and her unethical opinion. And it's not shining. It's not in my favor. It's her perspective, and it is what it is. But yes, she did join the opposite bandwagon, and it is what it is.
Bree put together a conglomeration of people's submissions. I don't understand why all this comes on you. Like, you have to double and triple check every submission.
Or tell people that fire burns, or that water is wet, or that you should not get in the shower with a hairdryer going. One of the things I really wanted to do was I wanted to put something out there that was next level. And in order to do that, it had to be a collaboration, an anthology of other individuals' work, knowledge, and experience. And listen, if you don't want to know about corpse water, then don't buy the book. If you
Yeah.
don't want to push your practice to the
I
next level, don't buy the book.
I have
If
heard of corpse water gate. That's come up, but I haven't really actually read that section of the book, so I don't even know what.
I did. I read it, and actually, it
I
was
should look
very.
it up.
I thought it was a good. I had never heard of corpse water before, but I thought it was important to know about. And honestly, you should know about things regardless of whether you're going to use them in your practice. You should be aware of what something is. That's how you prevent yourself from making mistakes in the future. I mean, if you didn't know what white sage was, and then you just went to fucking natural grocers and you picked some shit up and you're like, oh yeah, this says on the box it's supposed to be for cleansing negative spirits. If you didn't know what it was for, then you're going to shoot yourself in the fucking foot. You have to know things, even if you're not going to use them.
That's the problem I have with all this closed practice debate shit going on. It's like I want to know everything. I might not.
Yeah.
And a big thing lately that got a lot of people pissed off at me is when I talked about the 5 civilized Native American tribes and how the Irish became white. And nobody that attacked me looked those things up. A quick Google will bring up that I'm absolutely right about that. They're very ugly pieces of history, but they exist.
It is.
They exist. It happened. We should remember that. The Irish became white by becoming racist. The 5
Yes.
Native American tribes, the 5 civilized Native American tribes became civilized because they took African American slaves. We should know that. We should condemn that. Don't kill the messenger. I know some history. You have to remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
If you don't, those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. Okay, if we do not learn these important aspects of things that shit fucking happened, it was real. If you don't believe it, you can literally go onto Spotify and listen to a podcast called Dark History. Okay, this is by Bailey Sarian. This has nothing to do with witchcraft. This is purely history. Okay, you can learn all of this shit just by listening to that podcast, and she's going to discuss it with you like your Mima discusses over tea. But it's important history. It is still relevant. If you forget it, then you're just going to be the one who makes the mistake in the future.
Absolutely. I was waiting for people to come after me about that. I mentioned my videos that have gotten lost being like the fire at Alexandria.
I thought that was funny. I liked it.
I know they love it when I make historical comparisons like that. Nobody came at me and called me pro-Roman yet. They will.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it the Christians who burned the Library of Alexandria?
I don't know if we actually know what happened there, but the fire at the Library of Alexandria was the beginning of the Dark Ages. All of human knowledge was stored in the Library of Alexandria and was lost overnight. And then came the Dark Ages. Like people didn't know how to, running water into your home. That was like the hallmark of civilization brought to us by the Romans. I'm still not pro-Roman, but
no.
People forgot they didn't know how to maintain the aqueducts. And people would tear apart the aqueducts to get cheap building material and then destroying the aqueduct. Nobody knew how to maintain.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different theories. I've heard so many different theories blaming different people for the fire at the Library of Alexandria. I can tell you, I know there was a raid on the Library of Alexandria by Christians, and the librarians literally took broken pieces of seashells and used those as weapons to protect the scrolls and books. That's the only one I can remember for sure. And for a long time, when they were trying to close a local library down up here, they were using a broken seashell as like their symbol. To say you're not going to take our library down. So that's the only one that I remembered, and I thought it was related to the fire. So I could be wrong on that.
Says a rumor that Caesar did. Oscar says he believes it. But the Crystal Lady says the Etruscans. Now let me go to the Etruscans since we went there. It absolutely wasn't the Etruscans; they were wiped out. The entirety of the Etruscan race was wiped out in one night by Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome. They had one of those parties where they got everybody drunk, but Romulus and Remus weren't drinking. And when everybody was asleep, they killed all the men and enslaved the women, so they could have, Roman babies. But the Etruscans were, I'm sure there's some Etruscans that survived. And some of their ideas survived, but the Romans wiped out the Etruscans. It was kind of like the night of the... Never mind.
My favorite thing is when Birch knows he's about to say something controversial and goes, wait.
That's impulse control.
That is. That comes with lots of wisdom.
Hey, do you guys mind if I take the floor for a moment?
Go for it.
I've been talking.
Okay. So Nikki Firefly is in here, and I want to talk about something. Nikki had posted a video, as Nikki does. Nikki is very good at what she does. Nikki is really good at clapback, and she's got a sassy mouth, and she very much stands in her truth of what is right and wrong. She has definite boundaries, and she had made a video, and me being me, I popped in the comment section. I left 3 comments, one regarding Mindy, one regarding Mossy Witch, and one regarding Lucky. And the one that I left for Mossy Witch, Nikki didn't like it because I basically clapped back and I body shamed. And she made a video about it. So I went back and deleted my comment. And I went to Nikki and I said, I respect you. I deleted the comments, but I disagree with you. And this is the part I want to bring up. When you are in an active war, a confrontation, everybody is different. I have boundaries, but the gloves come off. I'm going to say what I need to say. And it's not always going to be pretty. And sometimes that clapback can and will be body shaming. And that is my perspective. Because if you're out on the street and somebody confronts you and you're in a physical confrontation or a verbal confrontation, all gloves are off. You're going to say and do what you need to do in that moment. And Nikki, I just wanted to give you my perspective on that. I respect you enough to remove my comments. And this is where 2 adults can agree to disagree and still walk away with respecting one another.
Right on. I love me.
I agree with that.
Until recently, I had, as I scroll, I have to follow really old videos because I have new accounts all the time, so I'm slowly getting caught up. Like, I'm still watching Bree at Hex Fest with Mo. I'm scrolling through them. I had no idea that Nikki was trans. I didn't know that. So hopefully I'm using...
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Look, Nikki, I almost said she, but I'm not going to... I don't know. But Nikki said she was trans. Or Nikki said that Nikki was...
I think I might weigh in on this a little bit. I do not like to body shame people because I feel that it kind of makes my personal argument fall flat. However, I will stipulate that there are certain people in this world who are very vain and very into their looks. When you are engaged in a verbal debate, it is essentially, in my opinion, a bit of a hex war, but only verbally. And sometimes when you are customizing baneful magic towards somebody who you want to hurt, the only way to attack them is based on their looks. Now, I will say that there are people on the other side who are very much that way, Ursa. But because they are like that, you need to attack their looks because that is the only way that you're going to penetrate their defenses. And I'm not going to say that that applies in every situation, and do I think it's a very ugly form of verbal magic? Yes, it absolutely can be. However, I do believe that sometimes it is warranted. Now, is it warranted in every situation and scenario? Probably not. But I think in some instances, absolutely. And I can't be the one to tell somebody what they can or can't do in that area.
I often say, as the lead into something else I'm going to say, people that say that a woman's only space is a safe space, they don't know a whole lot of women. I was polyamorous for 20 years. Marta came along and fucked that up. And so all the
You
women
sound
around that didn't
hard,
want that.
buddy.
So all the women around that didn't want that fucked up, they all started hating on Marta. And so they can't come after her look. That didn't work. So and then they, so the next line down, they're going to come after her intelligence. Well, that didn't work. And they pretty much no other ammunition beyond that.
Yeah.
They lost that battle.
Oh,
Nikki,
If you don't know who you're attacking,
right.
I don't know if you saw Bree in the comments. Nikki was agreeing with you and giving you love back and all that kind of stuff. You can scroll back in the comments and see all that if you see it.
Yeah. I also want to bring up a point too. This circles back to what Regina said. And I will say this, and I can't speak for Birch, but I can speak for myself, but I pretty well already know the answer. But during this process, during this saga of what's going on, my TikTok account numbers are still rising. The book is still selling. Professionally, personally, I'm still doing good.
Yeah.
I'm doing really good. I've done a lot of transmuting, I've done a lot of prosperity work. Yeah. And when the time comes, the dark side will happen, So I can't speak for you guys, but for me, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I have lost, like Serafina, Celtic Hex, I've unfollowed them, I've removed them, and it's okay because I've actually have gained a lot of new, interesting followers that I'm following back, and it's been very refreshing.
Well, with
there was
Celtic Head, she had some things to say, and I clapped back at her. But I usually will do that. I'll clap back, and then I'll listen to the words. I have my reaction. And what she was saying to me and to others about the stupidity of these rituals, I did take that to heart. And a couple of my students came to me about that same kind of thing. And so when somebody tried to organize a mediated discussion with me and Ursa, I agreed. Ursa had agreed. I posted the text based on the response of what Ursa said after I agreed. We know that she actually agreed. I posted those screenshots. That would have been the reaction. No, I'm not going to do it. It's already gone too far. That person didn't make that up. Ursa did agree, thinking that I wouldn't agree, and then she'd be able to talk shit about me punking out, and then punked out. But part of what Celtic Hex said and what others said, I just take that to heart at that time. Marta didn't really want me to enter into mediation with it, and which is absolutely her right. It's like it's her house, it's posted too, on her address too. Her family is in danger too.
Yeah.
But I probably should do it anyway. Say at least try. I don't know how the discussion can go very well, being it's all based on lies. Like, if you're going to say that I made a death threat before you posted my address, I don't know how you can get past that. Those things are not interchangeable.
It goes back to Regina's video. You're not the victim. You're picking a fight.
And losing the fight. And here's the thing. You're not the first person that Ursa has doxed, by the way. She doxed Karamia. Now, she failed to do so, but I found that and sent it to Karamia, and I'm like, you need to be aware that she did this. Because, then that was right around the time that I had hexed her, and that's part of the reason I chose to do what I did. She is deliberately trying to get somebody hurt. She wants to hurt people. And when she did that to you, and you made that threat, the way that I saw that, the way that I perceived it is, you know and are aware that she has a history of violence, and if she's going to threaten coming to your location, you have a right to say, okay, you know what, you're welcome to try that, but you better know what's waiting for you when you get here. So it's not a threat, it's a warning.
Absolutely. And I don't want to talk about this too much because it's taking time. I gotta say, I still have connections. I ran an entire background check. I have every arrest, every conviction, every known address, every name change, and the current address that is not across the street from my house. I have those. I'm sitting on those. I have not posted those. Fuck with me some more. Just fuck with me some more. I should.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Does the state of Louisiana have the habitual law? We do here in Florida, and so does Kentucky. And the habitual law is that if you, and it's actually different in every state, but here in the state of Florida, if you commit so many felonies, you are slapped. You commit another felony, you're going to be slapped with the habitual, and it is either 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. You know, so.
Yes, we have that, and it carries the penalty of hard labor. That's one of the things that most things you can get convicted of in Louisiana carry a penalty of hard labor. So we're talking a chain gang out there with pickaxe breaking rocks. Cool hand Luke.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, okay.
I want that law here.
But I actually want to bring up, and I would really like both of your perspective. I want to talk about fence riding. I want to talk about individuals who try to be Switzerland, and this is what happened between me and Celtic, and I just, no part of it, Yeah,
I don't believe, I hate fence riders. I don't believe in neutrality. As soon as you give me logic, reason, and evidence, I'm strapping on the boots, man. I'm getting ready to jump in boots first. And that's what gets me in a lot of damn trouble. Me and Marta have excommunicated several people from our lives that tried to do that fence riding shit back when, we had actual people attacking us, vandalizing our store, like that. But how do you ride the fence when people are doing shit like that? You're not a friend. You can't act like a friend. A friend needs to take a side.
Or
fence riders are a lot like alcoholics, you know what I mean? Like, when somebody drinks alcohol, I think that who they really are comes out. And what they really think and what they really feel is brought to the surface because inhibitions are lost. I think that when you have a fence rider in your life, they have revealed themselves to truly not be your friend. That's been my opinion. If somebody wants to play both sides of the fence, then they are not your friend. I mean, I can understand. Now, if my friend fucks up, I'm going to tell them. And I'll be like, listen, what you said here was kind of fucked up. I will always be honest with somebody and tell them the fucking truth. And I may not always agree with my friends, okay? But if it comes down to it... Oh, go ahead.
Just really quickly, Munu Midnight, Malek Salah. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're... That's... Oh, I couldn't even pronounce that. Very good.
Now, that's an interesting human being.
That make sure we're not on that term.
Yeah, I think... Oh, I just think at the end of the day, you know who somebody is when they won't take your side. If they wouldn't have your back, then you don't fucking need somebody like that. I keep my circle pretty fucking tight. Where I live, if somebody doesn't have your back, then they're not going to help you out when you really fucking need it. And I don't have time for somebody like that in my life. I've got too much at risk to not have the right people in my corner.
Yeah. Like, if it's some silly ass ticky-tacky shit, like somebody said something bad to me on the internet, I don't expect anything to jump. But when it gets real, you find out who your real allies are. And Switzerland was nobody's ally until recently.
Yes, Alice, it does sound like somebody we know. And yeah, you can't be friends with everybody. You just can't. You literally can't. Everybody's so different, and if you're gonna try and be friends with and this is a very extreme example, but you see what I mean. If you're going to try and be friends with POCs or BIPOC people, but also be a friend with a KKK member, you can't do that. It's an extreme example, but it is the truth. You cannot play both sides of that fence. There is no way.
I agree. I
Absolutely.
agree. And I've never once asked anybody to be on my side, take my side, back my play. People have done it organically because they're free thinkers and they have the ability to come to conclusions on their own. Now, I do not expect anyone to be loyal to me, but when they are, I absolutely, hands down, 10 toes, I am there for them, even if at times it could be a detriment to me. Loyalty is a rare thing. And I understand people wanting to be neutral and not be in the fight. Good for you. Don't be in the fight. It's okay. There's others that will soldier on. But in the real world, in our life here on social media, people with bad behaviors have caused the rift and have caused others to take sides. You
Yes.
know?
Well, let me tell you a story. We're breaking bread with Bree and Mo and a bunch of TikTok witches at the Vampire Cafe. When I have the text of the person in question allegedly coming to Hexfest, lurking around the lobby to start a fight with Bree. And they said, the Bree was lucky I didn't do this, that, and the other when I saw her. So that person said they saw her. Um, Bree and Mo immediately start arranging bail money to bail Bree out when the shit comes down. And everybody at the table had Bree's back. Everybody was
Yep.
ready to throw hands, jump in, strap on their boots immediately. So and of course, we were with the best TikTok witches. There's some other TikTok witches, they never came up and said hi, so I'm sorry you weren't sitting at our table. Maybe you could have been if you came up and said hi, but it was all TikTok witches. Even Marta, she has a TikTok account. Doesn't really do much with it. She's a TikTok witch too, technically. Well, not technically, she's here right now.
I had a thought and I lost it. I'm sorry. I guess the way I look at it is, I remember it now. Some people are so fucking full of shit, right? But they also have a tight ass, okay? It can't all come out their asshole. It's gonna come out their mouth sometimes. And I think that woman is just one of the ones that she's so full of shit it had to come out somewhere and it wasn't making it out that exit. That is for damn sure, because that stick is wedged up there so far, god damn it, ain't a wonder if she can bend at the waist. Are you okay, Birch?
I gotta remember that one. I'm gonna use that one.
That
You are welcome to. You are welcome to it.
It comes out their mouth. Yeah. Writing that one down.
Listen, if you're gonna be a tight ass, that shit's gotta go somewhere.
Oh, I want to bring up another point and something I forgot to tell you guys, and this is especially for the ones in the comment. If y'all have been on TikTok long enough, you've seen that some of these battles, these sagas, they've gone on for a year. I will tell you, mark my word, hear my words. This battle is coming to an end soon.
Yes.
And it will be one of the hardest and quickest battles that have been won and lost. And, to the main players that are recording this, I want you to hear my words. Everything that you have done, every lie that you have spoken will come back to you for the rest of your days. This battle is coming to an end. The good guys are going to win, and we will rise up above this. And in the end, down the road, this saga will be remembered, but it will also be remembered as one of the quickest.
To answer your question, Boss Witch, I'm from Colorado, actually. But a lot of people from Appalachia are Scottish and Irish. My family is Scottish and Irish, and just a pinch Jewish. So I think what you're reading there and interpreting is just the redneck family I grew up in.
Talk amongst yourselves. I got to go get Aunt Marta a beverage, or actually ice for her.
You could bring another one.
See, romance is not dead. I'm telling you.
No, I know. It's the little things. It's the little things that really matter
It really,
to
yeah.
everybody.
Little thing I have.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Listen, we could stand to have more people doing little things like that. I love to see it. I don't get it, so I love to see it.
Aw. You should
You know,
always get it.
you know, we could go down that road. Y'all don't have to be my therapist.
Okay. Okay.
We'll spare y'all those sob
We'll-
stories. Y'all don't need to
We'll
hear
have
it.
that conversation in private, okay?
Sure, anytime you want. Yeah, if you really want to hear me bellyache.
Well, you're still young too, so just
I'm
remember that.
34. I'm 34. You know, I wouldn't say I'm super duper young. And you know, I've got 3 kids, and you know, I'm also pretty independent and pretty hard-headed. So like, you know, it is what it is. Some people can't take whiskey straight. You know what I mean?
Marta.
Yes.
Marta,
Yes.
what's happening?
What do you mean?
How are you?
I'm good. You know, I'm in really good spirits, but I need to just go into some hole when it's August. It's just so
Yeah.
hot for me, and you know, it's really hard to take. But
Yeah,
in a
it's
good mood, which helps. But the heat.
when does it start
I can't
cooling
even
off
imagine.
for you?
It's supposed to start cooling off actually this week, like starting tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it gets hot again like later on. But this week it's gonna go from like low hundreds to like low 90s, which is a huge difference. So we're almost over it. Almost.
It doesn't cool off for us until Samhain.
Uh,
I don't
Oh
really.
wow.
Yeah.
You know, I don't try to, because I have exactly 2 months of summer where I live, and then I get 1 month of spring and 1 month of fall, and then the rest of that is winter. Okay, and we're talking like heavy snow, ice, all that shit. I don't get to see green unless it is June or July, and then August is my month of fall. It's starting to cool off already. The leaves are going to start turning here any minute now.
And you're wearing a long sleeve something.
Yes, I'm wearing a hoodie actually. It's
Oh my
64
gosh.
degrees right now. It's not, yeah, 64 degrees is like average weather. I think the hottest it gets at my place is 85 in the summertime. And then, but on the flip side, in the winter, it gets negative 53 degrees. No problem. Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Ouch.
But you know what? I will tell you that the snow that falls from that is some powerful shit, by the way.
Jeffrey comes in so far, the hurricane ain't coming this way, but we're ready for it. This house has been here since 1800.
yeah. Knock on wood, 0 damage.
So far, knock on wood, the worst part's been the power outage. Last Ida was 11 days. I learned how to make a lot of things on the grill. I made pizza rolls on the grill because we had to, because they were thawing. Cause
yeah, your frozen.
Yeah, we had to cook all of our frozen stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'll be right back. I think my laundry's done. I'm gonna go pop out, grab it real quick, and I'll come right back here. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm just gonna... How the hell do I pause this shit? That'll work. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't think we lost a whole lot of the fridge food. We just started grilling stuff up immediately.
Yeah, and that's the least of my worries.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
long as the house is damaged, we're all okay.
Yeah. These trees provide a whole lot of
Yeah.
shielding from the wind, and they're really tough damn trees. Hopefully they stay that way.
So how are you? You look like you're doing really good on the no smoking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm maybe vaping more than I smoke, but vaping's not quite smoking, so
Let me try that.
I'm working on it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. calmed you right down.
Definitely feels better on my throat than.
I think you were here for my last pack.
Yeah, your last cigarette. It was like the Last Supper, man. I was worried about you.
Well, one of the things, like, I had quit before, and one of the things that happened when I totally quit and didn't have any nicotine in me, I couldn't talk. I couldn't communicate. I can't do that. And this seems to be a good correction. I can still, been doing this with my tarot readings and stuff, as I usually like smoke when I'm doing a reading for somebody. This seems to do it. I have to quit this at some point. This is just nicotine, at least not killing my lungs.
Yep.
I quit and started back in the first time I absolutely quit was to become a cop. And I tested with several departments. I actually tested with LAPD. I had to take the physical agility test during third stage smog alert. And I quit for, about a good 3 years. And then it was actually my first day that the other cops accepted me enough, and I shit you not, to invite me to Winchell's, the donut shop. That was the night of my acceptance. And it was about an hour out of my jurisdiction. No, it was about a mile out of my jurisdiction. And while I'm driving back to my jurisdiction, I hear this pop. And I saw the flash over here. And I saw this woman, a streetwalker, grab her face and fall to the ground. And at that point, I realized I am now in the middle of the shooting. And my training kicked in, and I threw myself over on the passenger seat, punched the gas with my fist for about 15 seconds, and cranked the fucking wheel, slammed on the brakes, jumped out of my fucking car, going like this and shit. And right before I did that, I saw the shooter, and he had one-handedly shot this prostitute from across the street. Hit her in the face. And when I looked this way, he's coming down to two-handed hold. And I saw the first flash. There was about 10 pops after that. My car didn't even get hit. But it was the first time I'd been in something like that. And I was out of my jurisdiction. I had to call Long Beach PD to come take the report and, get an ambulance for this woman who survived. And, the cop that was taking the report was smoking a cigarette. I said, "Hey, can I bum one of those?" Been smoking since then. So it was good, 3 years of not smoking. And then I did not smoke the other stuff for 3 years, even though my partner did in the patrol car. I did not partake. Yeah, that was true. But I had a lot of that. After that, then, sometime after that's when I turned on my charges, and then I was getting shot at all the time.
Where, can I ask, Birch, what city were you a cop in?
The Port of Long Beach, California.
Oh, shit.
So really dark, dreary place, the best place to dump a body. And I found many of those.
Damn.
I remember my first floater. The floaters become bloated. I was trying to fish it to the shore. It was right off the rocks. I had a long stick, and I was trying to fish it over him. And I poked it, and it popped.
No!
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Birch.
Shit like that. Yeah.
Hey, Birch.
Yeah.
If you look in the comment section, there is a creator called Munya Midnight. Would you be so kind as to request her to join?
Okay.
Guys, if y'all have never listened to Munya Midnight, she is an extraordinary human being. Yeah. She has a really interesting path.
All right, I'm following her.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay, then we got a couple of spots. Munya, how are you?
It's Munu. I am good. You said it right the first time.
How are you? Where are you?
What'd you say?
I'm in Mississippi.
And you're coming to New Orleans on the 13th?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Hit us up for free. When do we get a drink?
Oh, we'll be at the Crescent City Brewery, I believe.
I've been there yet. Is that the place where I sat on the train?
That's usually the spot we eat at.
Well, a brewery is definitely going to have.
I don't have much to add other than the person in question posted a public video with a screenshot where she reported my live for absolutely no reason because I was live with Bree. And she posted it publicly. Yes, she did.
You know,
I don't even know this woman. And then she sent all her little people that she goes live with over to my page, and they all started following me. And I was like, oh, no, we are not doing this. Block them all.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these people.
No, forget it.
So what is your practice? Munu? How do I say it? Munu?
Well, obviously I'm follow, but
that's what I was thinking. It looks like a Coffee Pemba here.
I mean, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Really small, but I'm looking at it.
Not officially, but that's my protection for my business.
Well, hold on. Salam alaikum.
Yeah, I'm follow. I'm Pennsylvania Dutch, powwow, brochure, all that stuff.
Salam alaikum.
Powwow Dutchery is not something
Malaikum salam.
I've come across.
And I didn't hear where you're from. Where are you from?
It is a dying tradition. Mississippi. I mean, I'm originally from Pennsylvania. But now I'm in Mississippi.
So what's the dying tradition?
The powwow, the Pennsylvania Dutch powwow.
Powwow.
Yeah, okay. You don't hear or come across a lot of that. If they're out there, you're not hearing about it.
Actually, just yesterday we had Tata Eric on, and I think he's in Pennsylvania, and he was looking for a powwow. And somebody was going to hook him up. Somebody out there knew where one was.
Yeah, I've known Eric for years, but I couldn't hook him up with any. I mean, there's only, as far as I'm aware, there's only 16 powwows left in like the whole country.
Okay, I'm going to try and follow you, but for some reason this account, since I started it doesn't follow many people. Okay, I followed you. If it disappears, that doesn't mean I followed you.
It's supposed to be like a protection for bots or whatever. Like if a bot creates an account, it can't like mass follow a whole bunch of people. Yeah. But honestly, I think it's bullshit.
It doesn't work. Bots
no.
Follow.
There's still people out here pretending to be me, which is really funny to me. You don't want to be me.
And the problem is that people can get bots following you, and sometimes somebody decides that the bot should mass report you. And yeah. I think it's, there's a whole industry of paying for followers and that kind of thing. And I think that's how they keep themselves alive. Yep. You get the bots following you, and then the bots turn on you, and then you have to start a new account. And it's all out there. And then they have the bots.
It's the only way I can think Ursa keeps cropping up with these 5,000 people accounts. The only way she can be getting them, playing for bots.
Well, usually you can look when it's like a person with like the name's Dave, and they have no videos. Yeah, it's a bot.
Yeah.
Yep,
see, I freaking knew it, Nikki. I freaking knew it. I was like, there's no way. Because she just had a new account that popped up on my FYP the other day. And I'm like, the fuck? I don't want to see this bitch on my timeline. But then I was like, how does she already, if this is a new account, how does she already have 5,500 followers? How is that fucking possible? I mean, she had to be buying them.
Yeah, you admitted it. There's a bunch of people out there doing that.
Yeah. Midnight. Let me ask you, in your past, because I know you've been in this for decades, have you experienced witch wars and people fighting within the infighting within the spiritual community that you've been a part of?
When is that not happening? That's been happening since the jump day one.
That laugh said, "Is water wet?"
Yeah.
in Palo.
How
That's
do
why
you
I don't talk about Palo
combat
much.
it?
I don't advertise my Palo because the dudes are all in this machismo, peacocking, fucking mode. And that's
Exactly.
all they do. The religion gets buried under the stupid fucking fights that every Mononto's having with each other. So I just keep
From what I've heard, damn near every Monanzo has locked their doors. Like the legit ones that are any good, they are not accepting anybody.
Wow.
Cuban.
But to answer Bray's question, I do my best. I don't do drama. We know this. I'm too old for that shit, and I do my best to ignore. I do not. They're obviously seeking attention. I don't give them the attention. A lot of them just want to ride coattails of more popular creators so they can get attention from their followers and blah, blah, and start all this crap. Just deny them the attention that they're seeking, and usually they will go away. I'm a big proponent of if I ain't bleeding, we ain't beefing. This internet shit is some bullshit.
Absolutely. Cuban things. I haven't seen you since the loss of a couple of accounts ago. Salam alaikum to you.
Malekon Sala. Sorry, guys. I've been kind of jumping in and out. The Mercury retrograde has, I guess, affected me in some way, and my phone is the
I got a
issue.
schedule for that. Fixed it all.
All right. So,
I might need to get that.
okay. So I've been a practitioner for quite some time, at least 31 years initiated in Palo. That's just the initiation. But the witch wars have always been. It's like a normal thing. Okay, now I don't know how to explain this part. The person that you guys have war with is a person that actually doxed me back on Christmas Day.
Really?
Did I
Okay.
not say this is a pattern of behavior for her? I mean, yeah. Oh my god. I am so sorry that happened to you, Cuban things. I'm gonna give you a follow, sweetheart. Hold on a second.
This account was actually completely taken down at the beginning of July. Bree Witch is a witness to it.
Yes.
I am so
How the
sorry.
hell
That is,
No, it's okay. I got my account back though.
yeah.
Don't
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Sometimes I get
Shit,
them
these
back. They
motherfuckers.
don't, you know.
Okay, one of the things that you're going to notice about said person, and that's is how I'm going to name them, because I'm not giving energy to things that do not need energy.
Fair.
Okay, this is a person that does drink, has gone on lives
Shocker.
and has drank, and other things. I mean, I think some of us have this at one point in time. Some of us have excesses and some of us do not. Some of us like to have a little drink with our food, and eat and not be taken over by other things, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
it does.
depending on everybody's practice, there's things that would have to be done to completely take this person down. This person is the type that is very relentless and will, and when I say relentless, it's just she feeds or it feeds on energy that is hate.
Yes.
Anything that would have to do with that gives and boosts that person their energy. I mean, maybe that's just the way I'm thinking of it. I'm trying to think out of the box because I've been trying to think out of how to get out of the situation with her for quite some time. Even coming onto my page with different accounts and saying she's coming to get me in the B word.
I will tell you, Cuban things. You're not wrong. You're actually absolutely right. And I'm not going to say what happened, but I am going to say that that's not going to be a problem much longer because the thing that is inhabiting she who shall not be named at this moment, that's no longer going to be an issue. And if she hasn't already noticed it, she will be noticing it soon.
Well, I gotta say, in addition to all of the other stuff, I'm throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it. and my lawyer advised me to file charges for terrorist threats. And I have an address in Louisiana, which is not across the street from my damn house. I think I should do that. Even though I'm an anarchist, I pay a lot for cops. Our property taxes are paying for these damn cops.
Yep.
I'm paying for them. I'm going to use everything I got. And if you got priors, you fucked up. You got a record? You fucked up. Maybe it'd be the third strike. Kind of looks like it might be the third strike. I'm going to end up with the Louisiana chain gang. And I'm going to roll by it and, take pictures of you on the roadside cracking rocks with a pitchfork.
That's the whole reason I moved to Mississippi, because my goal was to move to Louisiana. But once I seen property taxes and property values and everything in Louisiana, I was like, no, I'm going to go to Mississippi. And I'm just 2 hours from New Orleans. So, like, I got the best of both worlds. I can go whenever I want.
Right on. But I couldn't see myself living in Mississippi.
Pickaxe.
Pickaxe. Thank you. That's it.
Birch, if that ever happens, would you do me the favor of passing that on video? For nobody else other than just for me and my own personal self-sense of satisfaction.
Absolutely.
Somebody said to me, oh, I would never do baneful workings off of TikTok. And, once upon a time, I would actually have agreed with that statement. But, it's individuals. It's the provoking.
It is.
So I am magic over mundane. So Birch, you do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to mind the business that's paying me. And I'll just, This is why we have witchcraft. Witchcraft is here for us to learn, to share, and for change for ourselves, our people, and the land. This is why we do what we do.
Yes.
I do magic with the mundane. Like, you can't do a money spell and not go out to where you're going to get money. You got to go to the casino.
Yeah.
You got to do the legwork too. So do them all together.
That and go to
At the same time, I think you also need to choose your battles, though. You can't fight everyone, and the shit on the internet is bullshit.
Yeah, like,
this internet shit is not real.
Like, somebody just talking shit to me on the internet. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Somebody posting pictures of my house, saying that they're at my house, laying juju on my porch when they're clearly not, because they have cameras that record all that shit. But still, posting pictures, posting my address, that kind of thing. And then posting them to other communities. Now that Norse Talk's coming at me, there's one guy in Norse Talk that thinks he's going to get laid by protecting all of the witches from me. It doesn't seem like he's getting any yet.
Hell no, sir. If somebody come to my door, it's on.
Right.
If you came to my house, I'm officially bleeding, and we are now beefing.
Right. Then it becomes very real.
Well, and we have the castle laws and the stand your ground. Mm-hmm. You just come to my doorstep, you're dog food. And that's the thing I said that was said to be a death threat. It's not a threat. Absolutely. The hole is dug. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I learned, a long time ago from Goodfellas. Dig the hole ahead of time.
Amazon can't even find my house. What makes you think you can fucking find me? And even if you do find me, you ain't getting back. Let's just be fucking clear. I have molten magic protecting my house. Let's just be damn sure.
So everybody, stay up on your likes. The haters are here screen recording now, so keep liking it. I'm sure they'll try and report it.
Bring it in.
But yeah, absolutely. There's no threat involved. That's what's going to happen. In the house, that's what's going to happen.
It's truth.
And the police aren't going to show up, so that's how we have to live.
Yeah. Did I hear you say you left your one home and you went to Mississippi because of why?
Well, my original goal was move to Louisiana.
Okay.
But like I said, I saw the property taxes and the property values and the weather, and I was like, I'm going to Mississippi. I pay very cheap property taxes. My property was extremely cheap, and I have a very nice house, and I'm only 2 hours from New Orleans, so I can go anytime I feel like it. Best of both worlds.
Okay.
I can walk to the French Quarter. We're far enough from it, close enough to it.
I mean, I moved to the South because I had a mentor in Southern root work, hoodoo, if you want to call it, and she schooled me for many years, 4 or 5 years, and I just kind of wanted to, and of course being in ATRs, I wanted to experience it. I wanted to immerse myself in the culture down here so I could really learn things firsthand about why things are the way they are and all that kind of jazz.
And it seems to have worked out really well for you.
I
Oh
really
yeah, I'm
respect that,
very
'cause
blessed.
you ain't getting me off the mountain unless you're dragging me tooth and nail. I love living where I do. I cannot imagine leaving where I'm from to go live someplace else for any reason. That's truly remarkable.
My mountain has changed. I was born and raised on the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania on the Blue Mountain, and I lived on the fucking top of the mountain. But I went home 2 years ago for my grandfather's funeral, and it'd been so long since I've been home, and I was so homesick for the mountain. Girl, I know you feel me. I was so homesick for that magic, and it wasn't the same. Everything was different. The energy was different. Home wasn't home anymore.
I think it's because people always assume that mountains never change, but they absolutely do. Especially, I'm not from the Appalachians. I'm from the Rockies. And I know that they're not as old as the Appalachians. Somebody tried to tell me there aren't spirits here, but there absolutely are. And I think it's kind of like a river, right? And this is going to sound really, really stupid, but like you can step into the same river in the same spot, but you're not stepping into the same water. Change is the only real constant. And even up here, things change slower, but they still change. It's never going to be the same place that it was when you leave.
100%.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I like that analogy you gave.
Yes.
That was very good.
I'm from the
Thank you. I got it from
Flatlands, and even I
Pocahontas.
did that. Wow.
Listen, I'm honest, if nothing else, okay?
No, but that was a very beautiful analogy. That really was.
Well, and I don't understand what the argument is for which mountain chain is older, since humans didn't live there yet.
That was so that really lit me up because listen, the Rocky Mountains are over 100,000 years old. There are absolutely spirits here. I mean, I can tell you for a fact, I live here. I have lived here my whole life. We have, at the very least, we've got Tommy knockers, and at the very least, we have elemental spirits. But there are other things here that I can't even put a defining number on. I can't explain it to you. I don't know what they are, but they exist, and they protect these places, and they're very sacred. And, you know, somebody tried to tell me that only the Appalachian Mountains had spirits because they were older, and I'm like, that is the most asinine thing, because you're not here. How would you know? You don't see what I see.
Every location
That's ridiculous.
Every location has spirits. Every location has different herbs that manifest in the area, and they utilize different energies. That's why when you're in certain closed practices and they've moved from one location to another, they have to kind of get along with what's there and utilize what they can use. Animals that they could also use, just in case if that's another question. And I'm sorry, Bree Witch, I didn't mean to.
No, that's fine. That's fine. What I was going to say is there's something different about mountain people. I've seen some of the best magic with the least amount of ingredients, the most simplistic ingredients, and there's just something about them, you know.
It's because of the struggle, Bree Witch. Remember, it's just
it is.
like, okay, think about it this way. Why are there certain practices that are closed? Why were they closed? Okay, it was because people were going through something, or a specific gene pool of people. not necessarily sex is involved, like, male or female, but just, let's say, a color of skin or a location. Okay, you got to understand that location, a lot of people struggled. And wherever there's struggle, they can be very minimal, but they know how to work the ingredients and bend them to what they need them to do.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people don't also understand about magic. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people don't understand that part.
There's something about being on a mountain, because I told y'all that I get 8 months of winter up here, and I don't get access to a lot of things that y'all get access to, because you have fruits, you have different plants that grow. I don't get that. I don't have access to that same shit unless I order it. I literally had to steal lavender from a hotel. Like, I don't get that stuff unless I order it. So if I want it, that's why I have to get it. But the stuff that I have access to, my property is nothing but sage and quartz. That's all that I live on, is sage and quartz. So it's ripe with magic. It's just I have to use as few ingredients as possible and the things that really count. So a lot of my magic comes from dirt. A lot of my magic comes from water. And in the summertime, I collect as many bugs as I can.
That's the main reason the last class that just finished last week that I put out was on dirts and waters. Because that is
underutilized.
Oh my God. Nobody knows how to use that shit. Nobody knows, and that's the best shit ever. And I always say a good worker can do more with a candle and a glass of water than a shitty worker could do with an entire fucking botanica.
Exactly. I tried to explain it to my friends. The reason I partner with deities in a lot of my spells is because I just don't have access to a lot of materials most people do. But it's a little bit like bringing a gun to a knife fight. You know what I mean? You at least get some backing that way.
Absolutely. And mountain sage is good for cleansing.
It is. It absolutely is. I'm drying some right now as we speak.
Yeah, I don't think I've spent time in Colorado at all. I don't even know if I've been there.
Something I've discovered living...
Go ahead.
Something I've discovered when I moved down here in the South, because in the traditions we use a lot of tropical kind of plants that only grow in warmish areas because that's where it comes from. When I first moved here, I was having to use massive amounts of sako. And I was having to order it, like every month. And I'll be goddamn if the next spring here, my entire courtyard was full of fucking sako. And I never planted that shit. Nature provides you where your location is what you need.
Yeah. I agree.
Is sako.
Yeah.
Sako?
Yeah, talk about it. Some people don't know what it is.
You know Paulo and you ain't Sako?
I don't know.
I'm not Paulo.
Well, my Paulo comes from California. We have different plants. I think my plant given to me in Paulo is the nasturtium.
Yep.
Yeah. And my stick, I forget what my stick is called, but
I remember all my Paulo stuff. I got everything.
Hey, you know your Licentia? Then shit.
What'd you say? What'd you say to her? What'd you say to her?
I got my Licentia down, and I think she still has to read hers. So, just saying. Since you
yeah, but I remember my plant and my Paulo.
Okay, you remember those things, but Licentia is pretty important.
I still want to know what this plant is. Is there another name for it? Yeah. So what is it? Is there another name for it?
I don't know if it has another name. It's kind of like a small papyrus plant, sort of.
You know what? Midnight. I don't know. Did I add you did I follow you? If so, if you could send me a message, I would love to know what this plant is because I'm very curious. Yeah, I did follow you. Yeah, if you want to, I'm curious about it. There was one that I surprised Birch with a long time ago. I don't know if you remember this. I told you that we have a lot of prairie fire that grows up where I'm at, and you said you didn't know what prairie fire was, and I said, oh, it's also known as Indian paintbrush, and I have a shit ton of that up here.
Yeah, I'm having really good luck with high jump.
Or Ombre Camino.
Ombre Camino.
Oh, I love Ombre Camino.
I kept trying to grow it in California, and it would never take.
Keep it alive in California.
It needs humidity.
Azzy.
Yep, needs a lot of it grows really well here in Central Florida.
Mine didn't make it through our last winter.
I think that's where I got it from. I got a live plant from Florida and transplanted it. It arrives in a box.
Twice.
But yeah, I did it twice in California and just didn't get it done. I have a friend in Oregon who managed to get it to grow. But it's like in a greenhouse. So it has enough humidity for it.
Midnight, can you spell Saka for me?
I just won $1,000.
I had to unmute myself. C-A or S-A-C-O. S-A-C-O. Sako.
Okay. Easy enough.
S-A-C-O.
I'm going out in my courtyard because I'm going to see if I can show you what Sako looks like. But we haven't had no rain here in like 3 months. So I don't know if I still got any up back here or not. But I'm going to look.
I want to stay to see the plant, but then after that I'm going to have to jet because I got to make it back to my house, and it's an hour drive.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm in the sticks, okay?
Every time I see you, I start humming to myself, Rocky Top.
Damn. You know, I get compared to John Denver a lot too. Rocky Mountain High.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Sako. It's a little dried up.
Huh.
It usually looks better than this, but like I said, we ain't got no rain. Here's a good one.
What do you use it for? What's its properties? Or it's okay if you don't want to talk about that.
I mean, what I use it for is this plant is used for controlling things that might otherwise be wild. It's good for calming energies down that are wild. Trying to get it in a good light here so y'all can see what the fuck this shit looks like. But yeah, I had some massively unruly spirits when I bought this home. So I was using a lot of this on my prenda and everything, and because they were all right. I have a river that actually, well, not a river, but a creek that runs right under my house, under my property. So we use this to kind of tweak it into the energy that we want it to bring in, so the dead aren't just riding through my house, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say, how is that having being right under your property?
It took me a long time to tweak the energy right, but I got it down now. Because, I mean, it can flow through, it can make money run through, or the dead can ride through. I mean, it's all kinds of, shit that I had to do.
Yeah. Huh.
Shit, I can't even imagine.
Not a plant that I've ever seen. I don't think we had it in California.
No, I don't remember ever seeing that either.
The plants around us.
Yeah, I don't recognize it either, but I'm limited.
I never did either till I started needing it and ordering it constantly. And I'm going to tell you, I never threw this out there to seed. So I don't know how it just appeared. And my courtyard is full of it. If we get rain, it is just covered in Sako now. And I'm just saying nature will provide you what you need when you need it.
So Lux over here is saying that he won $1,000 because of Breeze Money Oil.
Oh, guys, if y'all don't know it, if you're not following Midnight, you should go follow her. She has one of the best ancestor veneration classes, and she just posted a new class about dirt and water. And I've actually taken her veneration class before, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
I keep following her and Cuban things, but it doesn't let me follow people. So if it says that I followed you and it looks like I didn't follow you, that I didn't unfollow you. Okay.
That is so huge, Crystal. I'm so glad that that's working out for you. Bree's got some really powerful shit in her store. I poked around it the other day, actually, because I was kind of looking for, wish list stuff for myself. And as soon as I get more money, I would like to go shopping in your store, honestly. Stormy sent me a link to one of your videos advertising it, and you got some good shit in there.
Thank you. Cuban, I have to ask, have you brought back your spiritual baths?
Yes, I have. So I have the RHR from Pimiento Hexbreaker Road Opener. I think I make a total of 5 different kinds. So that's just the one. So it's, I guess, the American version of a Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So I have that one. I have one for health and mental clarity. And then I'm just kind of like make all the other ones as or what's needed for the person,
Yeah.
because I'm also a palera. I'm also making oils. I made a Abre Camino oil. I made a honey, which is, I call it matrimonio. That's actually edible. And then I made like a hair oil as well.
Yep.
I'm just
Sounds
starting. I'm
amazing.
kind of not into it all. And candles now that I'm like
Yeah.
making them.
Guys, if y'all have not seen Cuban's spiritual bath, it's not the dry version. You get the liquefied, you actually get the liquid spiritual bath. And yeah, so there's a
That's
difference.
the
That's
same
amazing.
way. I mean, Balera, salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Yeah, we send our baths out in liquid, but I don't. My baths are only by prescription. They come through readings, or else I'm not making you a bath.
Well, shoot. I mean, I wish my bathtub worked, but that's amazing, guys.
No, it's not bathtub. I don't know why everybody assumes it's a bathtub. It's not
I'm
Well,
bathtub.
probably because the word
telling you,
bath is in
Right?
it.
Okay,
you get
okay.
that bucket and that shit gonna be ice cold, and you just,
Going outside.
yeah.
I have a different way. So y'all have to take a shower bath. That's why we call it a bath in Spanish. Un baño is when you wash your body. So you
Okay.
pour some in a basin. So let's say you pour roughly an ounce of mine in a basin because mine's is super concentrated. You add 8 to
Gotcha.
12 ounces of water. You wash your body, all of it. Then you're going to first dip your hands into it, kind of wash your hands, and then slowly start pouring some all over your body. Sit
Okay.
in that for 5 to 15 minutes. If there's too much sediment, you can rinse it off, but I would pat dry.
Okay.
That's how I do
All right.
mine,
Okay, well, that
except for the
actually makes it
sticky
easier
ones.
then.
Hey, Diane.
All right. Well, y'all, I'm going to have to jet because I got to drive back to my house, and it is, again, an hour away. But behave yourselves and try not to get canceled.
Doing pretty good so far.
Love you, Regina.
Now, Bree, nice to meet you, Regina. Bree, what you were talking about my baths. You know, somebody came to someone and said that I put nightshades in my bath.
Damn.
That's silly. That's just absolutely silly.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely.
This is where you got to know your plants, especially when it comes to tradition. I ordered herbs from a provider in a community, and I told him what I was making. I'm like, I need herbs for this. I'm like, 15 herbs, whatever. He sent me motherfucking angel trumpet and datura for somebody's fucking bath. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Oh.
No, you fucking didn't. Yeah.
That's fuck up to destroy your business.
Well, thank God we know what the plants look like. Like, damn.
Well, if they just sent like it powdered or something, you might not even notice.
That's the reason why you have to rinse off the herbs prior to doing anything. That's why we do laboratorio. And I don't know how to say that part in English.
Well, I like to
Lavatory?
grow or wildcraft my own more times than buying them from people.
Yeah, I got that message like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Hey, I hear you put this in your baths. And I'm like, what in the hell are nightshades? I'm like, wait, that's European. I'm like, hey, I am a palera mayombera. Like, yo no sé qué es eso. I was trying to be very nice.
It sounds like you were being very professional.
Well, 9 times out of 10, when somebody does that kind of thing, they have business. They think if they bring your business down, they'll get more business. The most ridiculous thing in the world, but people do it all day, every day.
Yep.
And they don't pick up the business.
Yep. And guys, also, if you go check out Munya's page, she has a video on there. You see her with a big silver pot, and she is making a bath, and she has fresh ingredients. And when I saw the video, I immediately perked up, because if you watch her hands, she's being very gentle. She tells you the water's cold, but she's being gentle. And I'm like, that is worth paying attention to, because there's a reason for that. And I actually me and her had gotten on a live, and I brought this up, and I said, can you please explain why you were being so kitten with those fresh herbs in that, when you were making that bath?
Yeah.
And what did I say?
You said not to bruise and incite the spirit of the plants, to be
Yes,
gentle and
ma'am.
loving, because that's how you get the reaction with the connection with the plants. You don't want to beat the hell out of them. It's different when they're dry. Okay. So when you're working with fresh plants and herbs, there's a gentleness to it. You massage and connect with them when you're working with them.
You'll get more out of them that way too.
That's work hunting right there.
Yep.
So, Birch, I gotta ask you, because it's gonna bug the shit out of me if I don't. I know of you. I don't know you, but I know of you. You know the community is very small. It's a big community, but it's very small. I heard your tata Candelo Cambisa. Is that correct?
Oh no, I am Mayombe. I was his co-host for 2 years.
He's a friend of ours.
Yeah, friend, but no, I'm not Cambisa. My house is Viento Mala.
Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. I am still in touch with him. I did not jump on the bandwagon with all of the people that attacked Candelo, because that same thing. Most of the people attacking Candelo had a competing business that they believed would thrive if they took him out. I recognize he made some mistakes, but he's still a friend. I have no reason to turn on him. But yeah, I don't even really understand Cambisa. I kind of do. I mean, they use a lot of paint and stuff. But, I am Mayombe. Yeah, I think Cambisa is kind of like the eclectic Paula.
Yeah, there's so many versions in Palo Mayombe that it's ridiculous too. There's Palo Quimbiza, Palo Mayombe, San Cristo Buen Viaje, and I don't know
But I
which
will
ones
say,
else.
I'm Brayomba.
Okay, I will say, my tata's gay, and when he went to Cuba and dug up his own, went to the graveyard and did his chamalongos to decide which bones to dig up and all of that. He went to his tata in Cuba, very renowned house in Cuba, and he said to the guy, he said, before we do this, I got to tell you, I'm gay. And there was a long pause, and Tata said, and why are you telling me this? It didn't fucking matter in Cuba. He said, so look, you're a man, right? Said, yeah. Said, you got a penis? Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. Said, that's all that matters. They did not have this thing that everybody says, that the pacts that everybody agreed to, that gay people can't be Paulo, didn't seem to exist in this house in Cuba. They didn't even know what he was talking about. That seems to be an American thing that everybody says, everybody agreed to. I know more gay poleros than I know straight poleros.
Wow, because the worry that's a big controversy, as I'm sure you well know.
Well, when I was the co-host on Candelo's Corner, I got him to make that a subject one night. He resisted. He didn't even want to go there, and we went there. It's probably the most controversial broadcast about Paulo ever, and the ratings were really fucking high.
It's funny because that's the same thing with Santo. The first people that actually were initiated in Santeria in Cuba were, and I don't know if I could actually use the words, but the LGBTQ. They were also people that were in the medical, like doctors, lawyers, and then the other part of it, which were prostitutes.
I mean, you guys know, all that really matters is what the Inquisi said. You don't get to argue. If they say you can be in there, if they say my white ass can be in there, then I can be in there. But that's the original.
It never made sense to me because some people that are in the alphabet community, they marry people and they have children and they do all this and that, and then later in their life they'll follow, their true heart and their path and be what they actually are and want to be. So that never made sense to me, because what if you remento while you're married and you got some kids, but then later down the line, you leave your wife and you go marry a man? Like, that part never made sense to me. It never made sense to me.
This is the original point where Ursula started hating me. Was on a, I rarely talk about Paulo. I talked about it one time. It turned on me because of my whiteness. I couldn't be involved. I said, you know what? Inquisi wanted me. Mother Diablo wanted both of us. Got scratched the same thing. And we lived at the beach, so it made sense that she's the one that wanted it. There were several others there that could have accepted us or rejected us. Kalunga wanted us there, and I just don't talk about Paulo much. I don't interact with many players at all, because of the bullshit that seems to be okay in the tradition. Like the machismo dudes fucking peacocking and fighting with each other all the time. I want the religion. I want the magic. I want to deal with your shit.
And it's true, because that's the number one thing why I do not like it. Me as a yayi, I have my own prenda. I've been told, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. And I'm looking at them like, I didn't know I had to ask you permission for
Yeah,
what I can do with my pot.
absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the important things that people don't understand. All of the APRs have that same system. It's like the priest or priestess, whatever you call them in each tradition, their job is to perform a divination and then an initiation if it's called for in the initiation. They don't get to decide. There's no discerning at all. If the Inquisi or whatever in the other traditions they have, it's okay, then it's okay for you to join. And humans don't get to fucking impose their human bullshit. I love it.
My job in the practice itself is to make sure that you get through it, that you are doing better and you're thriving, because if you're thriving, that means I did my job.
I will say I almost choked to death on the rooster heart.
El kilo.
I think that was my first initiation. Yeah, I got a problem like
Oh, that chamba, I bawled. I literally cried when that chamba hit me.
I had to wash it
Lord.
down with chamba. It was stuck in my fucking throat, and I had to take a big swig of chamba to push that fucking thing down. I have a problem, like, I have to chew my food really well, swallow it, and it was just fucking stuck.
That must have been a big bird. Shit.
My question to you, Birch, did you try to light a match afterwards and blow out fire?
I didn't have the ability. I was like, after that, I was covered on the floor, and actually, I did get spanked with the
Machete.
machete.
Rendele.
I was not. I was like. I was supposed to be like leaning. I was supposed to be like straight up, meditating, and I kind of leaned against the wall, and I got smacked in the ass with a machete. But I always remember the thing I always like to remember is like in witchcraft, the initiation really is just symbolizing something that already happened. You already did your year and a day. You learned your shit. Apollo, you don't know shit until the initiation. And I remember that because I had the machete in between my teeth. They asked me my name. I said my name. He says, "No, you don't know shit." And they asked me something else. "No, you don't know shit." And I was like, "I don't know shit." Okay. So y'all know what I'm talking about.
Okay, in Santeria and in Palo, both they're very similar in. And I'm not saying that they came from the same place or anything like that. It's just you don't get taught anything till later. And in all honesty, a lot of these people don't teach.
Yeah.
That's facts.
I once
At least the ones from the U.S. I'm not saying everybody.
I once took a course with Kafka Oster online, and it was like the history of Palo, and it showed the path of the slave traders. And the original Cuba was originally flooded with slaves from the Congo, and that's so the Palo aspect gets initiated into Cuba way before Santeria. I mean, the places where Santeria came from happened later, but they also end up in Cuba. So it makes sense that there's a lot of crossovers because Cuba's the place where they all arrive, and like Palo isn't Palo till it gets to Cuba. Santeria, pretty much, I think, the same thing. It becomes what it is once it gets to Cuba. So there are a lot of them in the same area. Of course, the ideas are going to exchange, and there's a lot of similar ideas too. The Orishas are similar.
Similar, but not the same at all.
Not the same. But, you've got the same holy days, same color scheme, same like, same dislike. Like what I can say about Lucero, I can say the majority of the things about El Igual.
Mm-hmm. True. Because Lucero's, this is how I synchronize things. I'm not saying that this is what it is, but I synchronize Lucero with El Igual because of the color, the schemes, and what the hell it does. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it does more in Palo. There's more of the Echu aspect also in Santeria because it just depends on what you get. If you get an Echu or what kind of camino that you get for your Elegua. Okay, putting that to a side because that's a lot of different things. That's a headache within itself.
One thing I will
look at. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I thought you.
What I was going to say is since there's different pots, there's different versions of them. And because of those different versions, they kind of synchronized. And when I say synchronized, it's not the same. It's just almost like an essence or similarity. So they could be like, okay, this is kind of like that. This is kind of like this, but this is a different version of that. It's kind of hard to explain, but it has a lot of the essence of what, let's say, Palo and Santeria have essences of each other, but they're not the same, and it's not the same thing.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I always thought that was kind of interesting is like Marta, her Lucero has, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Mine has 9 eyes. And I said, why is mine so different? He says, because of your public nature, all eyes are on you. Watch what you say. And I rarely talk about Palo. I've never taught Palo. I don't want to have God kids. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to rack up God kids all day. So all eyes have been on me, and I haven't spilled a damn
what
thing.
You say in general.
Yeah.
You've spilled some shit, and I haven't told you about a lot of stuff because I know you'll spill it.
Okay.
Just saying.
But I don't talk about Palo much at all. I don't teach it. I don't spread the secrets. I mean, talking with you two is the only reason to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't either.
I have a question. So for someone who is not familiar with Palo,
is that a tradition, a religion?
Yes, African traditional religion.
Reglas de Congo.
Yep. And I gotta say, my tata had a crucifix in his nganga. I just thought that was kind of weird.
I see Briomba must be so different because I find it odd that you guys are talking about your luceros having eyes because my lucero is a prenda, just like my nganga. It's just smaller.
My lucero's in a conch shell, so smart.
Okay, mine is different from both of y'all. I'm just going to stay here, make me some coffee, and then I'll explain. But I do have a question or maybe an idea of why your 9 eyes, though, Uncle Birch. So, if so, it could look at everything as well and what's coming to you. On top of that, the number 9, what does it signify? Oh, yeah, which is, I forgot the name of it in Palo because I don't have that pot. But
Centella.
Centella. With Centella, it has to do with the winds. So you can move things around with the air. So I don't know if you're an air sign or what you are, but the air, fire, moves things for you with that. At least that's how I understand.
Well, the original house was Viento Malo, so that would make sense with the evil winds. Think of it every time.
What? There you go.
That would make sense.
Tornadoes, go figure.
Yeah. Now here we are with all these winds. We haven't seen the ocean in a while, unfortunately. Hey, Bella, how are you?
This has been a really good conversation. I love this.
This will go up on YouTube after it processes. This is a saver. So
yeah,
be up on YouTube forever.
All right, guys. Well, I need to jet.
Yeah, I think I need to.
Blessings to everybody. I appreciate the conversation, the wisdom that everyone has shared, and that I had the opportunity to, vent a little bit. But I've said this. I've been saying this for 2 weeks. Just hang on. The change is coming.
Yeah.
Plus, we got the super moon.
We keep witching, and there's no thing as bad press.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all, you guys. Y'all stay blessed.
Bye. Bye, Bree.
Bye.
I think I got to get out of here too. So I guess for the rest of you, Salam Alaikum.
Malaikum salam.
Good to meet you, Munu. I'm not sure if I say your name right. And Cuban Things. I followed you.
Salam alaikum. Yes, I re-added you. It just, I don't know if it did it or not.
I followed you both of you 3 times. This account's not letting me follow people, so hopefully we don't lose track of each other. I'll try and follow you again whenever the shadow ban
I did follow you back.
goes away. But everybody be sure and follow me on Uncle Birch 8 and Uncle Birch 9 so we can get those up to, where I can go live. So come here. And Attitude Caffeinated, Marry Me, Marry Part, Marry Me Again. Thanks for all you, and great meeting you, Munu, and Cuban Things. Good to see you again. I haven't seen you since the loss of 2 accounts ago. We'll see, if I have to make any more. Uncle Birch 13 is going to be epic, y'all. Okay. Blessed be everybody. I'll see you later.